Start it up.
Wow, holy shit, we made it.
We back.
Welcome back to the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness, Season 3, Episode 1. We got some new mics, as you can tell, so bear with us. It took us a really long time to make them work, but we're
Shout
here.
out Dean.
We're here now. Shout out Dean,
Deanie,
always making it work. What up, dog? But okay, enough of the bullshit. We're here with our lovely guest, Zhanna Red.
Zhanna Red.
And just to make sure everyone knows, it's Zhanna, not Zhanna. Stop fucking it up, okay? Stop
It's like
fucking it up.
genre.
Like genre, but Zhanna. Yes.
I like that. That's how I'm gonna remember it, by the way. Okay.
We're super excited to have you.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you for
haven't really
having
had no worries. We haven't really had anybody like you on the podcast, so I think this is a really cool opportunity. You've been absolutely killing it online.
Thank you.
I know that this happened shortly after some consulting with the guy on my left over here.
Oh yeah.
But this guy looks left. But you really took it and ran with it, and obviously we can see that with your socials. So maybe just introduce yourself, what you do, what you're up to, and we can get into it.
Okay. Well, as you know, I'm Zhanna.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am a model, and then recently with the pandemic, I had to pivot. So I started with TikTok because that was the only thing to do, really. And then recently started content creation on Instagram, and then now on YouTube as well. So who knows what I'll be doing next year or a year from now, but that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah, no, it's we see it. We see it. I mean, the growth is fucking crazy. 245,000 followers on TikTok.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
It really feels like it happened overnight.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it didn't at all because you're posting things every single day and you're kind of just doing, like, I started just because I was bored. I was like, you know what, everyone's kind of losing their minds in quarantine, and I was like, okay, I might as well just have fun with it, be myself.
Of course.
And then I was just posting things, and then people were actually responding to it, and they're like, man, like, during this time, like, I just want to go and like see you like being goofy, like whatever, like the snaps with your mom, like all of that. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe I should be doing this more. And like, I was just waking up every single morning, and I was so happy to do something that like other people actually wanted to see and what I wanted to do. And I was just posting like 3-4 times a day on TikTok, which now seems insane to me.
Yeah.
But it was like really mindless content. I was just like pushing it out, whatever. And then one video kind of took off, and like the way that the TikTok algorithm works, you have one video go viral, and then suddenly there's like such a big surge of people.
Yeah.
And that kind of started picking up. And with more and more videos, people were kind of narrowing me down in what they want to see from me.
Amazing.
So it kind of changed from me just like goofing around to people being like, oh, well, I saw you posted a video on fashion. What do you think about this and this? And I was like, oh, okay, well, why don't I make content like that? And it was just going back and forth. And now it's mainly modeling information and just beauty, fashion, everything, like behind the scenes of everything that I do for work.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So you decided to pivot. You're in modeling. Pandemic happened.
Yep.
What made you pivot into content creation? How did you know that was the way to go about it? I know you were bored and you're probably already on your phone, but was there some sort of like hint out there that you were like, you know what, maybe this could work?
For sure, of course. Like with, obviously there was, no photo shoots happening, nothing. And then brands still had to push out clothes, still had to do e-commerce. They still needed faces, and they still needed like someone to represent their brand. And I thought, well, how are they going to find out about me if I don't have any modeling work right now? And like, I kind of have to take this into my own hands. And the only outlet I had for that was my own socials.
Yeah.
And I started pushing that out. And not only did brands start reaching out to me like that, but I started getting modeling jobs from that.
Crazy.
And, my agency calls me. They're like, hey, you have this casting, like, go check it out. And I go there and I see like the creative director on my TikTok.
That's
and I was
nuts.
like, what the hell? And I come in, I'm like, oh, hey, like, it's me. And he's like, yeah, like, this is like a video job. We wanted to see how you look on video. And like, we see your TikToks here. Like, that's awesome. Like, whatever. And I end up getting the job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only because, you kind of showcase yourself from such a wider side, and you realize that now where you can't go have a photo shoot or you can't take a video in like a commercial space, you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And the way that you position yourself and the way that you sell yourself is in your own hands.
Exactly.
And like the fact that like that day, honestly, like it really clicked for me, and I was like, okay, I need to be even more careful about what I put out there, because careful in the sense that like what I want to do. Like I started putting out like modeling runway videos because I'd love to do that,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I started putting it out there, and it's a very competitive industry, and it's hard to do it.
Super, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to do it just by like somebody looking at a picture of you and being like, I guess you can walk, maybe. Like, I don't know. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll just put this out there. I'll put out that I can do this on video, that I can do that I can pose, that I can do whatever. And then it shows the client, first of all, your personality.
Of course.
Yeah.
Second of all, just your ability to be on camera.
Yeah.
And your ability to just help them with their brand and sell their brand and show what you stand for as a person as well.
Yeah. I mean, you said personality, which I think is huge because a lot of people struggle when they're trying to find a way to add personality to their content, right? And I think you do a great job of that. I think people can learn to know the kind of person you are just by going through your feed for a couple minutes, which is insane, So what I want to ask is how did you kind of get there? How did you decide that like giving value out was the way to go? How did you decide that, you know what, I have to do this on my own? Walk us through that step.
Yeah. So when I was starting out modeling, I was like 13, 14. And my best friend, she's a couple years older than me, and she's been in the industry for a while, and she would always walk me through the stuff. So if I had a question about agencies, how to choose it, how to pose, she was always there to kind of be like, oh, this is what you should do, whatever. Yeah. And to me, it was like such common knowledge.
Yeah.
And then once I posted some video on modeling, and someone was like, how do you even become one? And I was like, you seriously don't know? Like, you know, and I don't think I'm like this amazing supermodel where I'm going to like teach you about everything, but I have some sort of value and knowledge more than like somebody else who's not in the industry at all, and I can provide that. And like I would make a video on how to just start, or like how to make yourself feel comfortable in front of the camera, like basics, just the basics, you know. And people were really drawn to that. And like to this day, I have people like asking me like, how do you know an agency is legit? How did this, that? And to me, these things are like so obvious, but they're not.
Yeah, they're real questions, like the real questions that someone in your industry would want to know, or if they're trying to step into it, let's say.
Yeah, I think your industry is very cutthroat in a sense. A lot of competition, like you said, but something I noticed about your industry was that there wasn't a lot of value being given out, right? It's just kind of just showcasing, hey, I'm a model, hey, I wear this, hey, I work for them, but no one's really kind of going out there and saying, this is how you do it, right? So I think that in my personal network, you were the first kind of person to do that and kind of add value to that. So I want to go back to personality a little bit, because you were confident enough to put yourself out there, right? Like you weren't really scared to say like, hey, I'm goofy, or hey, like I don't have any makeup on right now, or hey, I just woke up, going to bed, on the bus, have a pimple, like all these things. Like this showcases a whole different side of modeling that people are not accustomed to, right? So I think you're changing the game with that. But how did you kind of gain that confidence to say, you know what, this might not be the typical model approach, but I want to do this approach?
Honestly, I feel like, again, like when I think about it like that, I feel like I can pinpoint an exact like sentence that someone said to me where I was like, why am I not doing that? You know? And I think it just became like, it's social media, it's your page, you know, it's you. And at the essence, that's what it should be. And it's not about me putting on a personality. It's not about me being like, you know what, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm just out there. And like, that's what I'm doing. And this is me. And like, if you don't like me, if you don't like that content, like that unfollow button is always there. You know what I mean? And it's just, I guess I realized that the closest people in my circle like me for me. There you go. And it's because I show them a certain side of myself that is completely natural and completely myself. So why not showcase that exact same side, but to Instagram?
That's the difference maker. That's the difference maker right there.
Because that's all you have, really. Like there's no way, for example, like I feel like, you know, Ernesto and I are close. You and I don't really know each other, but I feel like we know each other.
Oh, 100%. And that's just from social media.
Exactly.
Which is crazy. And that's something we always talk about where, you know, I was talking to a client yesterday about the same thing, where you can gain someone's trust through a couple posts. And then beyond trust, you can let someone feel like they know who you really are through a couple posts. And of course, that's if you're being genuine, right? If you're not going on there and putting on a front and pretending to be someone that you're not. But that's the beauty of social media if it's used properly. Go on there, be yourself, do you, post what you want, post what you like, be the person you want to show the world that you are, be genuine about it, and people will start to come to you and start to you know, see your vibe and be about that.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, and I think that's what you're doing here, right? You're showing off a goofy side, you're showing off like who you are as a person. And then to circle it back, you're going to a casting and they're looking at your TikToks. Like, would you have ever imagined in a million years that's where, you know, someone would, you know, catch on to wanting to, you know, hire you for a gig? Like, that's crazy.
I think even with the mix of content that you have, it just builds a bigger network for yourself. You're drawing different kind of people that relate to you. Maybe half your network is not even going to relate to your modeling, but they just like you because of your personality, right? So I think the mix of variety is something that you're killing, and this is something we always preach as well, right? And it's going to lead me into my next question, which has to do with your mom.
Okay.
So you and your mom are very close from what I see as well. You include her in a lot of the content, and I love it. So talk about that relationship with your mom. Talk about how you got her involved in the content, how she enjoys it.
Doesn't she have a page now? She's creating her own content.
She was like, she saw what I was doing. She's just like, I could be doing this on my own page. And I'm like, hell yeah.
She's like, screw you. I'm getting my own followers.
That's amazing.
For sure. Honestly, like, I'm an only child, and we are like, I'm a daughter of immigrants, so my parents came here. My mom was younger than me now. I'm 22 when like we came here, and she like she was just with me all the time. Like she raised me. She didn't work. My dad was working a lot, so I spent all my time with her. And she has this like parenting style where it's just very like, it's, you know, she's not even a mom. Like, she's
like
my
a sister,
best friend, sister and everything. But at the same time, like, I have so much respect for her that at the end of the day, like, everything that she tells me, I hold in like such high regard. And over quarantine, we were spending even more time together. Both my parents were working, so I had like a few hours in the morning with my mom, and I was like losing my mind. And so I would just like start filming her, and like her reactions are so funny because like she's such a sassy woman. And at first she was kind of uncomfortable with it, and there's times where she's just like, don't post me like I'm without makeup, and I'm just like, but that's sick. Like social media is so, like, Instagram started with filters.
Of course.
It was like, you know, filters, like putting the perfect picture, whatever. I think everyone is so past that. And it's a whole like complete shift where you want to see the opposite of that. And there's people that someone even DM'd her, and they're like, you know, we love that you and your daughter just post like natural videos, and like you guys are just having fun, and like you're not pretending to be anything, and we're not. And I guess for me, the comfort comes from like modeling and being in front of the camera, where I don't really see a difference anymore. Where I don't feel like I have to put something on.
Which is great.
No, what you nailed it there. You said that people have gotten past the filters. They want to see what's real. And I 100% agree with you. We have been so accustomed to, you know, Instagram as a platform now, social media in general, that people can see what's real and what's not real anymore. Even beyond a filter, like even just the way that you're acting on your social media, down to the way you put captions out, the posts you put out and whatnot. So I think that's super important. Let's just get past the bullshit. Forget the filters. Don't get me wrong. You want to put on some makeup or use a filter here and there, like do your thing, right? All the power to you. But people are really, really engaging with like just being natural now, what's organic, right? And so I think that, you know, your mom coming on, if like from an outside point of view looking in, like it seems so organic.
It's like, funny because it's like Nima too. Remember we had Nima on.
Another
I don't know
content.
if you listened to that one, but he's very close with his mom as well.
They're
includes her in the content.
Now. It's
Same
awesome.
thing, right? So I think it's very inspiring because like I said, it's a mix of content now, right? So you might be inspiring someone just to be closer with their mom.
So it's so many things.
Right? Like that could be just one of the things that you do during the day, and someone sees it in your content. They're like, you know what? I'm inspired by that, right? And something as small as that can open up a new door for you, a new connection, right? A new audience. So that's really cool. Like I always kind of took that in. I'm like, yo, I always hit you up too. I'm like, yo, get your mom in it more. She's killing it, right? So
I have a question for you. Because I'm still kind of blown away by it. I am and I'm not. But how you walked in and they were on your TikTok. You walked into the casting on your TikTok. Have you noticed now that you have kind of built this, you know, I'm gonna say fucking massive following, because it is a massive following. Have you noticed now that more jobs have come in, more gigs have come in since this has happened? Like that's crazy.
Sure. There's so many jobs now where, for example, like the other week I had a bridal casting, and I came in and I thought it was like a regular like catalog bridal job. We were just like posting the dresses, and then I came in and the director was just like, I've actually been following you forever, like before even this, and I saw your reels and I saw your TikToks and everything, and like that's kind of where we want to move our brand, and we just want someone who is like in the know of what's going on.
Amazing.
And I was like, that's sick. You know, I'm in this job because of what I can do for this brand in terms of like just taking them to the next step of like a more, you know, engaging content and something that you don't necessarily like associate with a traditional bridal company or something like that.
Which is crazy. So they kind of went to hire you based on your knowledge of social media beyond just the way you look and whatnot, right? Yeah. That's fucking crazy. That's amazing.
I love to see that.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
You never know who's watching, right?
It's
like
true.
you really never know who's watching. There could be people watching you for years and
It's true.
they finally say, hey, I've been following you. That's why I finally gave you a call or something like that. Right?
And that's exactly what happened. And that's insane to me because like I mentioned before, you know, you kind of, when you have a modeling portfolio, you have like a set of a few pictures on your agency's website, which are like your strongest photos. But then, you know, you now have it in your own hands to build whatever image and side you want to show. And brands now, I think, and even consumers, what they want is they want a face that they can relate to. They want a personality. They want someone more than just like, oh, okay, like this is a model, like label it, whatever. And if you can showcase that for yourself and you can, you know, sell yourself in that way, so to speak. And then I think so much more value comes from that.
Absolutely.
I think one of the things that are the reason of that, the result of that is you being so consistent, right? I think your content is as consistent as can be, which leads me to my next question. How the fuck do you do that? how do you do that? Because you don't have really like a team or anything, right? Like, do you work with other creators or you're one-man show?
One-man show. And what's really cool to me is that when I thought of content creation and like, this is what I wanted to do always, but I had a very like business-oriented degree and I was like very, you know,
corporate thinking.
And then I actually graduated last year when the pandemic started. And so all of a sudden I have this free time and I thought like, you know, I want to be an influencer, content creation. And I'm like, okay, well, I have to be in Paris and take these photos and whatever. And every single video I've made is from my room.
That's
every
crazy.
Single video.
Crazy.
With like your phone.
With my phone.
No crazy high-end production.
Nothing.
And I think that's the same thing when we had Nima here. Same thing. He's like, man, I've had this phone 5 years.
It's a cracked phone.
Things are cracked. Everything is just like, it really goes to show nowadays, you don't need some crazy cameras or anything to get it going. You just got to get going.
I think it's important for anyone listening too that it doesn't take much to go ahead and make content. You're getting millions of views. And you haven't changed location.
Seriously, like my living room and my bedroom.
Right.
Like,
so I think
what is it? A ring light and a thing and like
a ring light in my phone. And that's it.
That's something huge to take away because I think that people not overthink that step, right? They're just like, oh, but I need this to be perfect. They'll go nuts.
And that's exactly what I thought as well.
It's tough, right? It's tough to stay consistent. And let's be honest now, without that consistency, would you still be in the position you're in? No, right?
Not at all.
You have to stay relevant. You have to stay focused.
Absolutely.
And on it.
How often are you posting? How often are you creating this content? Like, what does that schedule look like? Are you spending a day, you know, filming 5 TikToks and then spreading that out? Or what is that like?
Honestly, no. Like, I feel like I'm just... At first, it started with just me doing whatever. And like I said, it was pushing out like 4 or 5 TikToks a day. And then it felt natural, whatever. And then I decided to put more thought into my videos and plan out outfits and this, that. And sometimes it takes me like an hour or two to film a 15-second TikTok. And I can't do it in a batch because I get like inspired throughout the day.
You'll want to do something on the go.
And I know it's a very unreliable way of going about content creation. And my big goal is to find a schedule that works for me and actually figure out something more consistent because like right now I don't have any videos in drafts and I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, like what am I posting tomorrow? So in terms of consistency, what really helped me was kind of recycling my TikTok content on IG.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Amazing.
And nothing on my IG from Reels is like just for Reels. Like it's always there and back.
Recycling
because
back and forth.
Because so many people don't even have TikTok. But like as soon as you post Reels, they're like, oh wow, like this is, you know, this is cool, this is different. Consistency 100% is key. But it's important not to push yourself when you feel that creative burnout and to start pushing out content for just the sake of pushing it out. Because that's not why I started.
Then
I started because
anymore.
it's not genuine anymore. And people can see that. And you can see that in the numbers. You can see that in the comments. And I can have like the videos that really took off for me were the catwalk videos. And like a few of them in a row went viral with like one was at like 8 million views and the next one was at like 2. And then I was on a roll with those. But then after that, I was like so depleted because I feel like I just pushed myself like so much. And then I think there was like a week or two where I couldn't even look at my phone.
It's tough,
Yeah. And I, you know, and I would push myself to like do some random video in between because I felt like I had to. And then you know, that's
but the numbers weren't there, right?
The numbers weren't there.
It wasn't genuine.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I don't want to say I'm doing it for the numbers, but that's kind of my way to judge the response of the audience.
Definitely.
Well, 100%. Yeah. And as a content creator, that's the only, you know, as analytics, that's how you can tell, did people, did they fuck with it or did they not, right? But I think that's massive. And then, I mean, a question that I have, because I seen this a lot. I see this even with our friend Brian, blew up on TikTok, and then it kind of, some of the followers, not all of them, kind of transferred over to IG. And did that happen for you? For
sure. Yeah, it happened for me, but it happened more with Reels.
Yeah.
Because Instagram is also very, you know, protective of their own content and pushing it out as a priority. So now, like, I even take out the watermark from, like, you know, my TikTok posts onto Reels, and wholeheartedly I can say I've gained like 20,000 followers just from Reels in like 2 months.
That's fucking crazy.
Which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, those numbers are unreal.
Yeah. And you have to take advantage of that algorithm, because as soon as they pushed out Reels, like they introduced the concept of it, you know, you have to be on top of it, like post every day. You know,
we saw the restructure of the feed, and we saw that they're pushing Reels, and we're like, yo, everything's Reels now.
Yeah, it was like the first day that they like changed the way IG looked with the Reels right in the middle. We like sat down in this office, we're like, all right, not only for our personal brands, but every client, we're doing Reels now. Like, let's go, right? The algorithm was there.
It's a game changer, because like for my one post, my reach is like a couple thousand, whatever. And then for Reels, it's like 600,000, a million.
Unlimited, yeah.
It's so crazy.
So clearly, like, it's, you know, the numbers are there, like they're pushing it out. You should be.
It's good that you actually look at the numbers too of your posts and kind of judge that and look at your insights. I wanted to ask you something, just based on the fact that you put out so much content, you're so out there. There could be a negative side to social media sometimes. People not agreeing with what you're doing, not liking what you're doing, maybe putting you down in some sort of sense at times too. Happens to everyone that puts themselves out there. How do you deal with that, if you even get it? Because you might not get that kind of I guess energy thrown at you. But if you do, how do you deal with that? Does it kind of put a damper on your content?
It kind of bothers me, because you know, it's funny, like you can have 100 positive comments and then you get that one and you're just like, fuck, like should I delete this video? Like this sucks. But then I like go on the profile of that person and I'm just like, really? You know, I can't be worried about that person liking me if I don't even know that I like them or not. Like, why does your opinion matter to me?
Of course.
You're not, you know, my best friend. You're not my mentor. You're not whatever.
Goes back to just who you're taking advice from. And what's the point of taking advice from someone you don't want to be like, or you don't even know, right? I just wanted to kind of put that out there, because I know me and him have been getting some hate.
We've been getting
me and him have been getting some
big hate,
some hate recently. But that's just the result of us putting ourselves out there. Obviously, we do it in a little bit different way than you do.
But the hate that you get, like all those the people that are still following you, they follow you that much more, and they're into your content that much more.
I mean, there'd be people that message me or him that know everything we're doing. They don't even follow us. How do you know? I didn't even know that yet.
So we've had people like get deep into it, like who don't follow us, who are like
very personal.
Who get very personal, right? And I think that's where people, like that's something that you're gonna take a step back, because if you start putting out this content, you start seeing a positive note. You're like, oh, this is cool. Like I want to keep doing this. But when someone, stranger or not, hits you with like a really personal like dig, you're like, oh shit.
And then their username's bot5973.
Exactly.
But it's like, hey, like, you know, I had someone say to me, this guy's an uneducated Gino with a podcast,
that was pretty funny,
living in his parents' basement. Initially I laughed, and then I can't even lie, like it actually offended me. Then it offended me, and I was like
pissed. He was really pissed.
I was really pissed. I messaged this guy, like I messaged in our group chat right away. I'm like,
let's go. Get the army.
We're fucking pissed. and it's like, I don't even know this person. Why am I letting their comment affect me like that? It's like, it's actually gonna ruin my day. Like, that's crazy, right? I made a joke out of it and put it on my story.
I think that's the best way.
Because I was like, you know, fuck this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, then it went from like me laughing at it to me being like kind of hurt by it, then back to me laughing at it. Because I was like, okay, I need to get myself out of this cycle. Like, it really doesn't fucking matter, right?
Exactly. And like on TikTok, there's this feature where you can reply to comments with the video. And oftentimes when I get like a comment about, for example, like something to do with my appearance, and like, you know, you don't have the perfect this or the perfect that, I literally just reply to it, like make a joke out of it and show people like, you can still be a model if you're like this. You can still do this if you're that. Like, what, like, you kind of take that comment and you use it to your own advantage,
which is even I think even more difficult for you to do, because you're in an industry that's so stereotyped already, where someone thinks
it's all looks, it's all beauty,
right? So now it's like, wow, it's like, okay, these people are really going to try and judge me on my looks here if I'm saying I'm a model, for example, right? So I think it's kudos to you because it's more difficult for your industry, I think, but you're doing a great job of it. And definitely if anyone's messaging you saying anything, throw me in the comments.
Let me know. Yeah, let me know.
Make a group chat. No, seriously, because that's a big one. I hear a lot about it too, right? And I think that puts a lot of fear in people's mind, and they won't post.
Yeah,
they just won't even post.
Yeah.
So imagine you had that thought in your mind for one of your posts, and that was the post that this agency saw, and now you got this gig, and all you were worried about was that bot that said "ew."
Exactly.
Like, right? Like,
exactly.
So that's just something I wanted to say, because I think for your industry it's even more difficult, and I think that's why a lot of people in your industry, correct me if I'm wrong, fake it a little bit and don't show the genuine side. They just show the final dress.
Yeah, I think the majority of the modeling industry is rejection.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not personal at all. And
of course.
Now when girls ask me, they're like 14, 15, they're like, I want to become a model. Like, should I start now? And my answer is no. You know, I started at that age, and the comments that I got and like the things that were said to me, thank God I didn't really take it that personal, because I understand, like, at the end of the day, a model is like, you know, a commercial face. Like, it's not personal. It has to do on trends. It's business. It's really, it comes down to that. And that's why I kind of like, okay, you know, whenever someone says something to me, I'm like, that's just your opinion. That's what you
Do you think that helped you now that you were dealing with that maybe when you were 15, 16?
Absolutely.
And you're like, fuck, maybe this is something I have to get used to if I'm going to be in this industry.
Yeah, of course. And there's really no way about it. And again, you can't take it personal. Like, you are going to get rejected, and it's not because you're not the most beautiful girl or whatever it is, but because there's just so many other things going on that decide if you're going to be booked for a job or not. Yeah. And now whenever someone gives me like a shitty comment, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, like,
yeah, whatever.
So would that be a tip for anyone trying to get into the industry? I guess get used to people maybe not saying what you want to hear all the time.
Just don't take it personal. Yeah, because it really has nothing to do with you. And like, I remember when I was applying to agencies when I was younger, someone told me that my look is not in style, and I was like, what?
What does that even mean?
I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, should I cut my hair? Like, what's going on? And they're like, no, just like your face, it doesn't fit like what's in trend right now.
That's crazy.
And you know, it is crazy, but I kind of get it.
That?
Everyone. No.
Crazy.
I mean, when I say it's crazy, I don't mean like, oh, that's horrible. I do get it too. I know you're coming from. I'm just saying, like, what, like, what a world. Like, you know what I mean? And hey, and that's the modeling world.
But
right?
I think even with you now building your own presence, you're gonna be able to kind of call the shots yourself at a certain point.
That's what I mean.
And I think,
you're gonna say, who says? I'm the one that says.
For sure.
Well, I think you building this actually puts you in the driver's seat now. So again, like, they're like going back to the bridal gig, they wanted you obviously because of your look, but also because of your know-how with social media, with the reels, with the TikTok. So it's like, yeah, you've put yourself in a position where you have leverage now. You've built leverage, right? It's not just like showing up, hey, hopefully you pick me because my face is in trend. It's like, you're gonna pick me because whether my face is in trend or not, I know this, that. I can do this, that. You've seen it.
Or just go look at my social media and my face is in fucking trend, buddy. Like, my face is fucking trending everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, that's the honest piece, right? Like, that's real people following you, engaging with you.
It's true.
Like, that's the people.
And so many girls message me and they're like, you know, I'm not tall enough for this, or I'm not, you know, my nose isn't perfect for that, and you know, I got rejected because of this and that. And it's like, okay, so take that closed door, like, build your own house, walk through that door yourself, and then you decide what you want to be doing. You know, when modeling, you're not an employee of the agency, you're a contract worker. So what that means is you guys are partners together. It's their job to kind of push you out, and it's your job to give them a product to push out, and you are that product.
So I have a question now with the agency stuff, because I'm sure you know, anybody listening, any models listening will have this question. Have you noticed that they've started to push you more now that you've built your own leverage?
They have more to push now. You know, I came to them and I said, now when you're pushing me out to clients, you guys can add this and this to my resume. And they were like, okay, perfect. Like, for them, it's even better. You know, you are partners, you know, you are working together. It is a model's job in today's day and age to have social media to speak for the model. And it makes it so much easier for the agency, and it just helps you stand out in a place where there's like so many beautiful and new faces all the time. You know,
let's talk about the agency. Actually, would you recommend that for anyone starting up I mean, starting up new as a model, or would you recommend them building their resume a bit? How has your experience been with the
I
agency?
feel like it does have to be through an agency. My experience initially, I was starting out, I was scouted when I was like 15, and which means like an agent approached me from a certain agency and they said, you know, like come in anytime, we're interested in you. And so I came in and it was like, they signed me, but they said, you have to lose weight here, you have to lose weight here and there. And every single week I would go back there and they would remeasure me and then be like, no, sorry.
Wow.
And I was like in high school, you know, and I'm like, you know, taking the TTC downtown to get measured and sent back home. And then I was like, hey, no. And so I stopped that, and my image of the industry was so tainted because like you're obviously so young, and like I didn't feel like I was fat. Like what is that? Like come on. And then I started university and I finished HR, which is like so different than whatever. And then after that, I was talking to my friend and I would always talk about the industry. And then I just kept talking about modeling and this and that. And he was like, why don't you go and try again? And I'm like, no, I was rejected. And he's like, okay. Like go again. Like that was one person in one agency that told you no. And I was like, what the hell? And so that same night I found a bunch of agencies in Toronto. I sent out my pictures to all of them. Like a few of them replied. I went to meetings and I was like, okay, this time I know my values. I know what I'm not budging on, which is like, for example, my weight and my measurements. And I came in and it's the agency that I ended up signing with. And I was like, guys, I'm not losing weight. I'm not doing that. And they're like, yeah, no one's asking you to do that. And I was like, wait, are you serious? And like, if I hadn't tried that, I would have thought my whole life that like, I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not this, I'm not that. And the industry changes like day by day, year by year. Like now it's no longer just looking at a model and being like, if I buy that shirt, I can be like that one day. You're looking at it and you're like, that's me. Like that's a representation of like a regular person that can be up there too.
There you go.
And if you're, you know, there's so many girls that I know as well, they're not signed, but they have a big social media following and they're chosen for jobs like more than me. They're short. They don't have the same measurements as me. They don't have this, like everything is completely different, but they took the driver's seat. But for new models, I think an agency is really needed, like a good agency where they don't ask you to do anything you're not comfortable with. They have the relationships with photographers that are secure because now like it's so unsafe to go and be like, okay, like, you know, there's this photographer that wants to take pictures of me. Like, my God, you know, you want this done through an agency because you have that protection and they do have your best interests at heart. And again, your partners working together, like you help them, they help you.
100%. No, I think that's crazy though. And you did mention that, you know, the girls who took the driver's seat who aren't with the agencies that are still getting jobs too. That's crazy.
I think that goes even with the whole driver's seat, building your own home, right? I think that's something that you did well. We spoke about that too, right? When you want to do something, if there's no one out there that's going to believe in you, do it yourself.
That's exactly what you told me.
If you want to showcase people that you work with brands and there's no brands that want to work with you, go buy your favorite brand, do a photo shoot with it and post it.
And then go return it because it might be too expensive. Keep the tags on, hide the tags.
It's proof of concept at that point, right? So you're kind of almost trying to prove it to yourself, right? And to your audience that you can do this. And they're not going to know that you walked down the street, bought that candle, now you're tagging them. It's like,
and then
no, they sent it to me, right? So I think that's a big one. I think a lot of people just wait for this opportunity to come.
But build that opportunity for yourself.
You have to make it for yourself. But and I think that's a big piece that everyone's waiting. You know, you're always waiting for the right opportunity. Oh, when is it going to come? When is it going to come? But if you're just sitting there waiting, it's never going to come. You have to take steps forward to say, hey, this is how I'm going to get myself in a position to maybe get that job, to get that gig, to meet this person, to get that mentorship, that internship, whatever the case may be, right? A lot of people just wait. They wait. And I feel like that's like, and I feel like it's like a North American thing. I don't know. I could be wrong. I feel like we're so privileged. Everyone's just like, oh, why isn't someone picking me for this? And why aren't we doing that? It's like, well, put the fucking work in. Like, put the work in. Exactly. Put yourself in the driver's seat. One door closed. Use that door and build your own house. I love that you said that. I've never heard that, but I fucking love that. I'm going to get that tattooed tomorrow.
That's going to be a reel, everything you just said, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Tariq, better cut this one good, eh? No, but honestly, it's amazing. I have a question. Now, you are where you are, right? You're getting these gigs. You know, you're continuing to build this following. What's next for you? Like, do you have anything in mind that you want to work towards, that you're working towards, you know, outside of obviously still growing your following and whatnot? Is there anything specific that you're thinking about doing? Or
for me, I guess the big step was always like the end goal of this whole thing was YouTube.
Yeah.
So I don't think I even like completed really my growth in this sector because I was so scared and nervous to like go on like a long video. And that's why kind of these TikToks and stories kind of helped me, because like I would post something and then someone would reply and be like, oh, that's funny. Like we would watch what you do in a day or like whatever. And it gave me so much confidence. And I had like, I published my first video and I was so nervous. It's like 10 minutes of just me. And I was like, oh my God, like, you know, this is daunting. And then so many people were like, this is awesome. Like, I'd love to watch that. Like, this is great, whatever. So for me, the goal is to build that because I think it has more long-term like sustainability and potential.
And I think the other platforms too are going to feed into the YouTube, of course, right?
Yeah, well, the long format video, that's kind of where like a lot of creators go, right? When they're like, okay, cool, how can I make like a business out of the actual content itself, not just like building the content to try and get brand deals? Where can I actually monetize, right? Fuck, YouTube, that's the place to go.
It is.
Yeah. I want to talk about your engagement a bit because I know you are very active. So how has that been? Like, have you talked to people that reach out to you for feedback? Do you give them the time of day?
Yeah. The other day I was blocked from my DMs because I was just replying to all my questions.
Happens to us all the time.
And I was like, well, I didn't even know that was a thing. And people are asking me, like so many girls are just coming from my TikTok and asking me questions that are specific, like to contracts or something, like whatever. And I remember you mentioned this yourself, like someone asks you a question, you may not even know the answer, but I'm like, okay, let me find this out for this person and tell them. And to the best of my ability, of course. And I try to be as engaged as possible. Like I reply to every comment. And I think this is something I mentioned to one of our meetings. I replied to someone's comment and they were like, oh my God, thank you for replying. And I'm like, that's so twisted. Like, thank you for commenting and taking the time out of your day to say something on a video of mine or whatever.
A little goes a long way. So how do you think that has helped you build maybe even real relationships, like with real people that you're connected with, or just fans of some sort that just support you?
Like it changed the game. You know, I guess like celebrity culture, quote unquote, is kind of dead. And why people are so into like YouTubers and whatever, because these are real people that reply to you. They're real people that are actually interested in like having some sort of back and forth, because what they tell me directly is what I'm going to be doing for them, because I know that's what they're interested in. And to me, genuinely, like it's crazy that people actually care. And they take the time out of their day to like go to me for a question or something. Like it's such an honor. And I think to sit there and be like, oh, I'm not going to reply to this or like whatever. Like, what else are you doing this for?
What the fuck are you doing? Like you don't have time to answer.
I think there's even the thing about, and we said this a lot too. I mean, with the closest people around you, there's sometimes not all the support you want. And I think that's why we're used to not, like, someone messages you and says, thanks for the comment, thanks for the reply. You're like, what? Because this is a random person that just knows what you're putting out. This is not someone that's close to you or maybe has a relationship with you. We find that those people are sometimes the ones not supporting the most or not asking the most questions, right? People you've grown up with, whatever, long-term friends. There could be people that are very close to you and they support everything you do. But for the most part, most of your network isn't the ones doing that. It's randoms.
Granted, they're not my audience.
There you go.
You know, these closest friends of mine, they were the ones who fed me this confidence and instilled in me that I can do whatever I want. And like, honestly, that is more than I can ask for them, because like my friends in like the medical field, like no shit, they're not going to care about how to walk, you know, and I can't expect them to be like, oh my God, I'm going to try this, thanks for the tutorial, because like what do they have to do with it? But I know behind the scenes, like they're the first ones like celebrating with me when I have some sort of achievement or whatever. They support you in completely different ways.
Of course.
No, I agree with that. But I just want to go back to the engagement really quickly. I see you comment on fucking everything, like everything. And I know that probably a lot of it came from what this guy was 100%. Saying. You're fucking everywhere. You are everywhere. So it's like, you know, it becomes a fucking full-time job being a content creator.
That's where the burnouts happen though. Because people will look at you and be like, what do you have to do? You're just talking to people on Instagram and posting videos. And it's like, yo, that is mentally
exhausting. Yeah, I agree.
Exhausting, right? So again, kudos to you because you're making it work and you're just growing. Like every time I go look at your profile, you're
up like 5K, 10K followers.
Then I go back to my page. I'm like, whoa, I'm going to start doing fucking model walks. I'm going to start doing model walks, Dean. Me and you, bro. We're walking. I don't give a shit. If that's what they want to see.
Well, you got to test it out. You never know.
We got to test it out. No, but seriously, like that, like I haven't seen a page grow like yours in a very long time, if any, to be honest. I think you took the advantage and the opportunity right when you needed to. And I think you're going to be inspiring a lot of people for the rest of your life, just the type of person you are, what you put out there, right? I think that it's great. Like I look at your page now and I even forget sometimes that you're a model. I'm just like, yo, it's just Zhanna.
Yeah.
It's just Zhanna. I was about to say Zhanna again, bro.
Come on, man.
No, but seriously, I think you're a great example of that. I think a lot of people can look to your page to learn how to have confidence in themselves.
I think like, when people ask me like, what do I need to become a model? Like, should I be this tall? This confidence is the one and only thing you need.
Yeah.
If you're going to go to an agency every single day, email them new photos, this is what I can do. This is me. This is that. Like, there's no way you're not going to get noticed.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you look like, because you know, there's girls that I look like on, you know, in campaigns or like for whatever, and I'm like, you know, I can't really relate to her, but there's so many people that can. And you need, like, now it's all about representation, and it's no longer that mold of like, you have to look like this, tall, blonde, whatever. You know, and it's funny that I'm saying that because I'm tall, blonde, and whatever, but it's true. It's just so much more than just that now.
Well, it's like you said, again, going and knocking on agency doors, sending pictures and whatnot. Again, it's taking that step to say, I'm putting myself out there. I'm going to make sure that I get noticed, whatever it takes, right? And I think that's huge. But
I almost forgot what I was going to say.
No, don't forget.
No, I wanted to ask, just in terms of more, you kind of being an entrepreneur in your own eyes and in our eyes, obviously. How do you kind of stay on top of everything? What kind of habits do you have that you've implemented in your life? What do you do to kind of just calm down? Because it's a very stressful.
It's a good question.
Content creation is very stressful, and it's hard to stay on it all the time. There's times where I'll wake up at 5 a.m. There's times I'll wake up at noon, and you're just trying to make it work day in, day out. So for us, I know our daily habits help us a lot just to stay sane.
Yeah.
So I want to know kind of what you do. I have a picture already of what you kind of do already, but tell everyone, I guess, what your habits look like to kind of keep yourself afloat and keep yourself focused.
I think at first when I was starting all of this, I was way more on top of my habits because, you know, as the day goes by, like there's so many things that fly at you, and no matter what kind of habits and schedule you built for yourself, you always have to deviate and kind of respond to the situation that's going on. For me, my main thing that stayed like true consistent was like my gratitude journal.
Beautiful.
And to just even write down every small accomplishment that happened that day, and to just like thank the people around you for what you're doing and like what's going on, and just being so grateful, because it really is truly insane. Like there's people that care about you on like a larger scale and are interested in what you have to say, and like you know, you have to give thanks for that.
Of course.
For me, that was the biggest part. And I think a really big reminder that I write down every single day is to not just consume content, but to rather be a producer of that content. Because when you are a content creator, like you can't just scroll through Instagram for fun.
You can't anymore.
You can't do that.
It's a job now.
You have to look through, see what's going on, what's trending.
Exactly. And it's so hard. Like you said earlier, you're on TikTok and suddenly like 3 years go by and you're just like, why am I still scrolling? And it's exactly that. And without that, you can't find new trends. You can't find new sounds that you have to like, you know, utilize. So it's really just hours of like scrolling, but keeping that intention in your mind, like, why am I doing this? Why am I scrolling right now? Not to go down that hole of like, just like whatever, but this is inspiration. I'm saving this for later. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow.
There's a method to the madness.
Exactly.
You need to. But it's madness still. That's the problem.
It's a lot of madness, but that's the side of social media being a business, is that it's not just for fun anymore. It's not just like, you know, a lot of our friends, they have 9 to 5s, they come home and then they treat social media like it's just for fun. You go there, you scroll around, this and that, whatever.
We need those people too. Those are the people watching our content.
Yeah,
right?
no. Listen, before these fucking garbage trucks outside ruin this fucking podcast, we'll kind of just leave it off it.
I have some questions actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, from some of your fans.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me pull these up actually, because we put the story up. Okay, number 1, who is your style inspo? Great question.
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I wear the same shit every single day.
Black. I wear black.
Seriously, no. I like and like that's the thing. Like what I thought content creation was like, I have to be in a new outfit every single day, and like
someone's
whatever.
Gonna see I wore those pants.
Yeah, like what the hell? I've been wearing this leather jacket for maybe 5 years, and like I'm gonna keep wearing it, and you know I don't.
I'm wearing an in-game jersey right now that hasn't even been washed. I don't think.
No,
I don't even think.
That's not bad.
Perfect.
See, that's as genuine as it gets, people. No, okay, so did you answer that though?
I don't think I have one. It's just black jeans and like a t-shirt.
Style inspo.
Yeah. Okay.
How is life being a model? I mean, we just talked about it for a while, but can you sum that up?
Yeah, it's hectic. It's very unsecure because, you know, I can have 5 jobs in a row and then for like 3 months, there's absolutely nothing. and you know, paychecks get paid out with like really big gaps, so you can't really plan exactly. And like my friends are like, you know, let's go out next weekend, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And then all of a sudden that morning my agent is just like, you have a casting right now, you have to go. And I'm just like, okay, well, I have to go, I'll probably get rejected, but like if I don't, then like it's awesome.
So it's hectic.
Hectic. That's the answer she's getting. Hectic. If you could work with any brand, who would it be?
Well, Givenchy was on my list.
That one was a crazy video, by the way. Unreal video.
Thank you.
So would it be them?
It would be them. I think YSL, I really identify with them. They're also like, you know, all tailored black, really sleek, but like they're edgy yet they're feminine at the same time. And I think that's, you know, you can combine both. Yeah.
All right, so listen, Givenchy, YSL, if you're hearing this,
money buys.
Call the fucking girl, please. Can you just call her? Send her a DM, TikTok, whatever.
She answers to all her DMs.
I go on she's page, and I'm like, yo, she better win. I already commented it.
Please, just you know, just do it. Just do it. That's all.
Now we're gonna ask you the special question that we ask everyone.
Okay.
So obviously, we are the MBH podcast, Money Buys Happiness. We've gotten a lot of hate for it. We've gotten a lot of weird comments about it, but nonetheless,
we get some love for it.
We get some love for it too. You know, we get everything over here, but. When you hear money buys happiness, what do you think?
I think money buys freedom in the sense that you are investing so much time of your life working for something, and then you have that security and stability to just kind of later on do whatever you want because you have that, you know, fallback always, you know, you have that money. And I think a lot of issues come from people like not pursuing certain things. It's because of money, and they don't try to, like, for example, if I wasn't living at home with my parents, I would not be doing content creation because like when you're starting out, there's no, you know, it's not really sustainable.
Of course.
So in that sense, like, yeah, you know, if I had that money, I would be much happier and calmer and free in what I'm doing because I know I always have something there that's,
of course,
that's there.
It's a tool.
That's amazing. Yeah, you know what? That's a very common answer we get here.
So we should change the podcast name. Money Buys Freedom.
Money buys. You know what?
Because everyone's saying that now.
The MBF podcast. No, you know, I like what you said there, and I think that to further that point, we say this as an entrepreneur. You know, being able to wake up every day, and whether it's Wednesday or Sunday, it's the same thing. That's always the goal, right? And in the world that we live in, money is one of the driving factors for you to have that opportunity to say, hey, today's Wednesday, I'm going to get up and go to work. Today's Sunday, I'm going to get up and go to work. Today's Monday, I'm going to fucking do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so money is freedom for sure. So yeah, I totally agree with you. On that note, I know I already asked the question, but what's next for you? What can the people expect to see from you in the coming months?
Where do you want to see yourself? I hate this question myself, but I'm going to ask you. No, I'm going to ask her.
Fine,
she might have an answer.
Okay.
Where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Like,
see,
you know, my life changed in half a year and took me somewhere where I never thought I would be, you know?
So it's like, who knows in another half a year?
Do you have other industries you're interested in, or like,
honestly, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm very like family oriented. And I feel like in 10 years, that's where I want to be. But with, you know, building an online empire, you can kind of afford to do that and be able to work anywhere you want with anyone you want, and, you know, have a family and like be more stable in that sense, but still have something to do again from your living room.
Well, we're headed to Tulum, so you know what I mean. If you want to come by, make some content out there, feel free. The door's open. No, but listen, it has been an absolute pleasure. Honestly,
thank you.
You know, just keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing it.
You're really inspiring a lot of people in the fashion and modeling world, and just in general, honestly. And I think that you're very genuine in what you do, in the content you put out, and the person you are. So please don't ever change that. Honestly, I think a lot of people.
Change.
Don't ever change. On that note, where can people find you?
I am Zhanna.red on Instagram and Zhanna Red on TikTok.
Beautiful.
Because someone took Zhanna.red on TikTok.
Wow.
They're already on to you. And YouTube, anything out yet?
One video is out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working on more.
Nice.
Yeah, it's Zhanna Red everywhere.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Slide in the DMs. Give her brands to work with. Take photos or do something for her because she deserves it.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you, guys.
On that note, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.